So, thank you for joining me today. It's a pleasure to speak with you. I know that you've had a really broad career. You've worked from nuclear plants, airports, solar farms, data centers, refineries,
Naval shipyards as well.
yeah, shipyards, and across Europe and Africa. So, please, if you could introduce yourself, how it started, and where it led you
That's
to
okay.
today, if that's okay.
Okay. My name is Virgiliu Columb. I'm a Romanian citizen. I graduated of Architecture and I'm a diplomat architect engineer. During, let's say, all my career, I also make some other trainings. I'm a construction methodology expert, a building surveyor expert, and some other ones. But those are what I mentioned now, they're the main ones. So I start working from 1996 for an Italian company for a construction of a nuclear power plant in Romania. In that time, I was student. Uh, in 98, I graduate. But also in 98, my job finished there. And I start as a AutoCAD draftsman, which during the 2 years, we did more than 10,000 as-built drawings. Not only in AutoCAD, also scanning, and after scanning, do everything in AutoCAD. Was crazy, was a huge pressure. I work also in night shifts, meaning starting from 5 p.m. and finish 2 a.m.
Really?
Yes, and that one helped me a lot because I learned AutoCAD. In that time, AutoCAD was under AutoCAD 12, which was under MS-DOS, not under Windows,
Hmm.
which is a very big step forward for an engineer, mostly civil, structural, and front-end engineering design. After that, I work like 1 year after graduation as a technical manager in a naval shipyard in my town, and happened to find out an opportunity of working in Nigeria. I talk about the year 2001, and for mostly for East
Sorry to
Europeans.
interrupt you. Just quickly, how did you find it? Because it's for someone who doesn't know the industry, they must think, how on earth did you get an
Yeah,
opportunity in Nigeria? How
because the
did it come
recruitment
about?
company
Yeah.
um, actually was a a nuclear construction company. The call is in Romanian language, Întreprisa Nuclear Montaj. Was
Okay.
a very big company. They placed people in Qatar before, good engineers, and they was operating in the same environment where was the nuclear power plant construction. They have some part of the jobs. So I find out, I applied with my skills and credentials, and I was selected for an interview. Funny enough, in that moment, I had a girlfriend 800 kilometers from my town. I went to see her,
Yeah.
and I was staying with my parents in that moment. And we don't have mobile phones. Didn't come mobile phones on market. It was only landline. And I said on a Sunday just to call my mother. And my mother told me, hey, they call you for an interview. Was on Sunday afternoon. You need to go there on Monday morning. So I take a night train. I went there.
Oh,
I
wow.
passed the interview immediately. The interview was with an Italian company. Taking Simi Montubi is the name in that time.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of jobs there
So
for
how far
the
was your
10.
journey, sorry, from your girlfriend's house to where you had to interview? Was that
Well,
800
she
kilometers?
understand the point. I took a night train immediately,
And how far was the distance?
800 kilometers, which
Oh,
I
it was, yeah.
made almost 14 hours. Around 6
Oh,
a.m., I was in Bucharest because in Bucharest was the interview.
yeah.
I took metro, whatever was ending of Bucharest, the location of that company site. There was maybe 20 Italian guys who come directly for the
Yeah.
interviews, maybe another 200 Romanians waiting for the interviews. I finished around 6 p.m. everything.
Wow.
But in 30 days, I was in Nigeria. I was selected directly in the technical office. My interview was with the technical office manager,
Yeah,
who
nice.
immediately in 10 minutes didn't tell me anything, was very polite, smiling, and I will receive a phone call from the HR from that company that I was selected. And in the meantime, I need to resign from my former company because I was still working there for the naval
Yeah.
shipyard. And in the naval shipyard, funny enough, the owner of the naval shipyard, which was the CEO, the technical director, they know me, they know my family, and they was too happy. But luckily for me, the CEO was in Nigeria before. And when he heard it, say, okay. is a big step forward for you, despite the fact that the increase my salary was almost the same what I received in Nigeria. And this one, regarding the pivot point in everybody's life, if I was staying in Romania, maybe okay, I achieve something, but I will never achieve that knowledge and experience as an international
Okay.
work.
And
Never.
what was your position that you was going for? What was the job title there in Nigeria?
I was in the technical office as a technical documentation engineer, also in charge with the front engineering design as a design coordinator. But the design was made in 3 locations. They call it LOC, POC, MOC, meaning London Operation Center, Paris Operation Center, and
Okay.
Milan Operation Center.
Lock, pop, mog,
Already the
yeah.
design was there. No need
Yeah,
much
okay.
for us builds. My main concern was, okay, I print everything, for example, for a construction of a pipe rack or a structure, or even I will tell you something else. They rotate me in all this time, starting from electrical and finishing with piping, even spooling calculation of spools.
Wow, you've done everything. Okay.
Yes, was 1.5 year. I supposed to still stay there because they tell me to remain. Actually, the rotation was 6 months with 2 weeks. Believe me, it was crazy.
6 months on,
But I
2 weeks
did
at home.
one crazy thing, and meaning I got married. I was the youngest person in that project. I was 25 years old. So I
Okay.
got married there with a Nigerian lady. So I went to Romania because she cannot achieve visa to come to Romania. I need to translate the documents in Romanian, whatever. Finally, she had the visa in that moment.
Hmm.
And this is what make me do not still remain 6 months in that project.
Okay.
Because my last 6 months was doing as builds of cable tray constructed. These ones didn't was captured in the engineering because all these things they're extra work and is paid heavily.
Yeah.
The client was NLNG, but the main contractor was TSKG, meaning Technip,
Hmm.
Snam Progetti, Dresser Kellogg, and Japan Gas Corporation, the main investors.
I see.
That one was my big turning point, which even giving the time back with all the mistakes I did in the past, I'm grateful. I'm extremely grateful.
Okay. And just to wind the clock forward to today, because I'm a bit cautious we could run out of time. It's interesting to see how it all started, and taking that position over in Nigeria was a turning point for you in your international work as well, which is amazing.
But
And
I
then
would
obviously,
like to tell you, Nigeria is a very tough country. Maybe I was very young, but for an
yeah.
European, let's say 50, is going first time in Nigeria, will not survive more than 1 month, meaning nobody will kill him. Work and the stress is not
Yeah.
for everybody.
So how was it as a young man in Nigeria?
Well, I was enjoying, meaning coming from an Eastern Bloc, ex-communist country, let's say without exposure to Western companies and mostly this type of, they call it exotic locations,
Yeah.
for me it was a big step forward because I learned a lot. I learned how to think extremely fast
Yeah.
with a light of speed
Yeah.
because the decisions can not only compromise the site, but can compromise people's lives. If they're
Yeah.
not done immediately, the impact in time is huge, not only financially.
I understand. I understand. You're a senior site civil and structural consultant now. So please tell us, what does that
Only
mean?
consulting. I even in Bulgaria, I was half consultant. I was half on payroll, which I full my last project I could talk about, which I fulfill everything. I'm
And
not
what
sticking
I'm
to be
asking,
consultant.
okay. But what I mean is, tell me what it means, the civil and the structural, for someone who doesn't know. So, for example, if someone who's maybe 16, 17, listening to this, about to start a career, what's
I will tell
involved?
them first. I will advise them to study very well.
Yeah.
I will
Okay.
advise them to use in artificial intelligence, but with one condition. When they know the process, they need to understand the process. They need to
Yeah.
know the processes inside. They need to how to calculate by themselves, even without computer, with a piece of paper and the pen. And most important is the field experience. From the office, they can be Einstein, but
Yeah.
without field experience.
Really?
Sorry.
So why is it so important? So you have a realistic view on on projects.
Because you see me now, I'm wearing a short, okay, but I don't mind to put a coverall, boots, and to enter in the mud, to see with my own eyes what is happening, to evaluate the
Nice.
situation, and to take the right decisions. Not only
Mm.
technical decision, also planning decisions.
Hmm.
Because in my career, I started, let's say, I told you from AutoCAD draftsman, but I reached up to project manager with I'm a accredited project manager, and I need to know the processes. Otherwise, I cannot take decisions.
Yeah, yeah. You have to
My
go
advice
through
for
it.
them is the practical experience, but to study very well. For example, writing method statements, cross-checking drawings. Easily they can use artificial intelligence, but to cross-check the results. This one will save the cost, will save the time. Time is money,
Yeah,
ending of the
yeah.
day. But they need to know.
Of
And
course.
also practical experience, site experience. That one is the key of everything.
Yeah. The site experience is probably the most enjoyable part of your, or what do you enjoy most about your work?
Depends, but in any project I am, and it's a construction project, definitely the site is the best part because I'm working directly with the people involved, and the human capital is the most precious capital.
Yeah,
And I
of
need to
course.
know what is their skills, what is their capability, technical capabilities, what is their own hands on the job, directly on the job on site. Because it's easy from an office, okay, I can make a brilliant project. I pass the pre-feasibility, feasibility. I put to the investor for them to choose the final investment decision. But everybody will ask, okay, now give us the miscellaneous. Miscellaneous
Okay.
mean the site. And
Yeah.
believe me, in Africa, countries like Nigeria, miscellaneous can be 30% of the total value of the project.
Wow.
In Europe, maybe between 7-10% maximum.
What did working internationally teach you that engineering school couldn't, or staying in your own country couldn't? What is it that working internationally you feel you learned?
Well, I'm atypical because I'm a brainiac. I like to check things before to, let's say, to approve something. Is I want to see how it's done.
Yeah.
For any engineer, whatever country it is in this world, can be in a country who is even North Korea. If he's not thinking outside the box to check and to find alternative solution, if it's possible cheaper and faster, doesn't stand a chance because now the world is revolving, is changing. Everybody is looking for efficiency.
Mhm. Of course.
They need to study. They need even if I will live 100 years, I will still study and read. I will say, no, I'm not smart. I'm still learning.
So always be learning, even if you're going
Yes,
international, staying,
always.
always be learning.
Never
Okay.
stop the learning process.
That's good. I like that. I'm the same. I like to always be learning new things, putting myself in different environments. Is there an example you can give? I know you know, not to mention company names and anything like
No, no,
that,
no.
but
It's okay.
was there ever a time when a project, because you worked in a lot of different types of projects and big projects too, was there ever a time when a project seemed impossible when you first arrived on site? You know, was there ever a time you turned up and you thought, oh, this is going to be a very hard project? There must be at least
Many
one
projects
example.
like that,
Many.
mostly in Nigeria because it's a crazy country. But I love that. I spent my best year in someone life between 25 and 40 something years. I spent it in Nigeria. So, playground, okay, one big hotel construction in a swamp area. Somehow I stabilized the ground, but was a stream who crossed exactly in diagonal the land. So
So hold on, the land was like a swamp and it had a stream running diagonally through,
yes,
and
and
you're
also
putting a
natural stream
hotel
was
on
crossing.
some.
You know what I did? I divert the stream. It's heavy
Okay,
civil work. I divert the stream. I stabilize the
okay.
land, and the hotel, the foundation. It was a piling or raft. It was raft foundation, but in what way? I dig 6 meters. I make a very strong concrete reinforced base, and in that basement, 6 meters high, I put all the services, including staff canteen, storage, everything. Was
Hmm.
elevator was going up, down to the basement. Plus
Okay.
pumps to pump, assuming the toilets need to be flush and cannot reach the ground level. Was pumps. bring, push everything up. But one was a huge challenge. Another huge challenge was building a bridge. I was an Italian company then. Well, uh, was a federal government project from Nigeria. The money was available, but everybody want to cut costs to make more profit. Okay,
Okay.
we changed 3 times the engineering design until last time when I say I sign more than this, I cannot cut anymore.
Was it
Otherwise,
a
the bridge
bridge?
will collapse.
What was the bridge going over? Just so we can picture it. Was it over roads or over water? Um,
Over a river,
Over a river.
over a
Okay,
river,
yes,
and
you
also
don't.
was continuing in highways on both sides.
So what? When the project design changed, how far was you into the project? Did you have to restart, or
I
you
review
could?
all the calculations. I checked all the stability of the bridge, the strength, and was the minimum, which didn't was real the minimum, but I had 10% to the minimum because otherwise I don't want to take the risk. Is
Is
my
the bridge
furniture
still
there?
standing today?
Yes, it's still operational. It's very well.
Good. And what advice would you give to someone who's on a tough project like that one you mentioned? So your brief basically changed 3 times on the bridge.
Is to
Um,
evaluate the resources, mostly the technical resources, assuming is on the technical part. If it's involved inside, to evaluate the human resources, because they can be okay, they can be 6 or 8 months behind the schedule. In that time, no need to stop, but need to evaluate everything and the contractors to see what is the problem to
because some of the
identify it.
guys must get frustrated, right? You know, the actual people on site. I know it's
Yes, but they need to identify it and to have an open discussion to say, okay, this is the time schedule for completion. This is the task and targets. And immediately I will start to add task and targets not weekly, daily on hours. And I will tell them, increase the manpower, increase the equipments, do extra shifts overtime, but you need to recover.
Mm, I see. I see.
But
Okay.
task and targets is everything.
Yeah.
Because
Well, that's
many managers they're looking task and targets 3 months ahead, maximum 1 month ahead. No, is maximum 1 week, and daily is the best.
yeah.
If
You
after
take
1 week
things.
they're not achieved, will be hourly task and targets, and the person, somebody like me, I will be on site there to check.
They're easier targets to they're easier targets to actually hit, aren't they? Day by day. Okay, we need to do this today, rather than a week. It can slip away, and that's when delays can happen, right? When there's 3 or 6 month targets, you can easily.
Well, now I
But
want to be realistic. Assuming is a construction project, first is the procurement and the storekeeper. Assuming all the materials are on site, they're on quality, they're checked, they don't have any excuse not to perform. It's no excuse. That means they don't have the
talking,
right labor, they don't have the right equipments.
as you mentioned procurement there, I know you've led teams before, so you've supervised probably thousands of workers across multiple countries. When you arrive on site, for example, you turn up on a site and nobody there knows you, and you're leading them. How do you gain credibility when arriving so that the team are to follow you? You know, what's the hardest part about leading a team that you've just met?
Well, in this is an advice. I did some courses and long time ago in 2000. And everything in life or in a company is a pool. A pool is made by 5 people. It's like a hand. Each finger have a role. The
Okay.
main role is this, the lead person.
Yeah.
So from that pool, let's say applying in the real construction life or real project life, mean maybe from supervisor, superintendents, depends of what position I am, for a month. I will make a very short meeting, meaning 30 minutes meeting with them. And I will show to them the time schedule, what's supposed to be done. I will cross check with what they have. Maybe they don't have the same. We'll put ourselves together in this. And I will ask them what is their plans. And I will want only the bullet points. I don't need much writing. I say, okay, let's move. So I'll go with them to each of them in in each location or let's say area of work of each of them and cross check what is available: manpower, equipment, materials.
So I understand when you turn up on site, in order to make yourself a good, strong leader, first of all, you give
Yes,
people the
and
brief and the
everything is
timelines
in
you
a
have.
friendly manner. Is not
Yeah. And
Let's
it's
say
nice
our
though. I was going to
total.
say,
No, no, no. Because the best capital is human capital.
yeah, it's a nice way to put it. Human capital is definitely the most important,
Yes,
and you you make sure everyone is on the same page, or if they're on a different
exactly.
page, you're going to go and see where they
Also,
are
I
at.
have another approach. As if when I notice that someone is not really performing on that positions, I will assess his skills and whatever he can do, and I will move into another position. Will not be decreased, but at least
Hmm.
to bring good value for that project, to be proactive. Because can happen, someone can be in a position, pass the interview, but is not really performing. But always, for each person is a place.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, so you make the best out of, well, you see the best in
Yes,
people and put them to that part.
yes,
Yeah, that's a nice way to manage people. 100%. You've worked on nuclear plants, offshore platforms, refineries, solar farms, airports, data
yes, yes.
centers. Tell me, which industry is the hardest?
Well, for me, is not anyone hardest. For
Okay.
me, right now, is the recruitment process who is a hell, sincerely. But hardest, I can perform in anyone, no problem. As long I know
Good.
the job description,
So
the scope
yeah,
of works, and most
doesn't matter
important
what
thing,
industry.
for every engineer, whatever, even for a foreman, they need to understand the process. If they master the process of any construction, they can achieve everything. They need to
Hmm.
understand it. Because,
Yeah,
for example, okay, I will say to someone, please do the foundation for this pipe rack and install the structural elements. But if that person doesn't know what is the load of that pipe rack, what kind of pipes, what the vibration, it will do
yeah.
it anyhow.
Nice. I understand. I think your main point here is that people need to really understand what they're doing, the
Yes.
process, the fundamentals of what they're
Yes.
working on.
Civil engineer no need to know piping, but if you understand the process, it will know how to perform. Also, the sequence of works.
Yeah, yeah. And tell me one last question about what you would advise, like a soft skill that you think's important, something maybe you've carried with you through your career. What I'm trying to
Yeah,
ask
I
is,
can tell you.
yeah,
I know what you
yeah,
mean.
mm,
Integrity. That is the main skill.
integrity. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
integrity
nice.
is
You're
the
a
only one.
gentleman. Yes, nice.
When
Okay.
someone have
And
integrity, not only good things can happen.
yeah, that's genuine and honest. That's nice. And tell me, when you've then, so you've obviously worked for a lot of companies. When you go into a hiring process, this is something for our own personal research at Duke. Tell me, when you've been on hiring processes before, interviewing, like something that you thought that was a good way to interview me to show you my skill set.
To be honest with you, I was interviewed maybe almost 100 times.
Yes.
That's not a problem.
Yeah.
What, from my experience, when I interview people locally in Nigeria, because some contractors they bring people, but I say no, I'm not signing anything until I see the person face to face. Definitely, I look at CV. I have 10 minutes discussion with that person, a very free discussion, and I ask him, okay, from your CV, I see you did this, you did that. Okay, I will ask directly, what was the main challenges what you encountered in your previous companies? And explain me briefly how you solved it. And from that discussion, I will know if that person have the experience or no, because I don't care what is writing in the CV personally. I will ask
Yeah,
the
I
person, what you
see.
know to do exactly.
Yeah. That makes sense. So you would ask them a real life example of something in their
Yes,
previous and see how they
yes.
answer. Yeah.
Now depends if somebody 23, 24 years old just graduated, I will not ask him this because don't you have the experience. I will ask
Yeah.
him some technical questions and no, have the idea or no.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
everyone can learn. If you really want to learn, and my advice for everybody to start learning when they
Keep learning.
go for
Yeah.
a job, yes, everything is great. Because I'm 50 years old. We need to invest in the next generation
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
to give
Wicked.
them, let's say, the flag to to move on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
for the
that's
ones at
nice.
my age, I will ask them directly, purely from them own experience, how they solve it. And during their responses, I will understand if that person really have the experience or no.
And how about for someone going on to an interview? So not when you're looking for someone, when you're joining a company, a job, what advice would you give to someone who's going into an interview?
Well, if he's accepted after the interview you talk about,
No,
or
sorry.
before?
So before, so for example, if I was to come and interview with you to join your
Yes.
team, what advice would you give to me to prepare for an interview?
Well, please to ask me whatever you want to ask me. Technical questions, I will answer. If you want other questions, I'm free to answer as well. But I'll answer in a very free way.
Okay.
Definitely not a crazy way that cannot be published, but a
Yeah.
very free way.
Okay. So just be willing
That
to have
now
a nice open
psychologically to see
conversation.
how you
Yeah.
know a person,
Yeah.
and you know
Yeah.
if his have personality is good or is not good. Now depends of the role, because some recruitment companies they want yes people.
Yeah.
Whatever someone say, yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
But not in all situation is like that, because technically cannot say be said yes if something is not right.
Would you?
I
I
say
feel like you're going to tell me you like every project you've worked on, but is there been a moment in your career, like your proudest moment of your career? Has anything that comes to mind that you're most proud of? Maybe the hotel or the bridge that finally got
no,
completed.
I'm proud of something else, but and I didn't was paid for that job. You see, during when I was in Nigeria, it's supposed to be a huge investment. One of the company, or let's say, something for an entity very rich is Billfinger Group. The first investment supposed to be 8 billion US dollars.
Whoa, yeah.
I talk about years of 2013, 2012, 2013. Well, they need to build a deep water seaport. And for all this, I was involved in that project, but I have my job. This one I was doing in parallel. The consultant was a prominent American person. I will not give the name. It's huge.
Yeah.
And another consultant, the president of business chamber between Japan and Nigeria. Another prominent Japanese. Well, in one night, I did the dredging plan in Excel with calculations for everything in one night. I give them in the morning. Initially, they say, okay, let's look at it. Not even thank you. The project didn't happen because they don't know how to access the funds.
Oh,
Initially, the engineering supposed to be done in Nigeria, but was done to some guys who actually received maybe $100 million and share it between themselves. Nothing happened.
oh, really?
But during that
Oh.
project, to be honest with you, my relationship in Nigeria, meaning connections, even the present Nigerian president, I met him twice. One was governor of Lagos State.
Mhm.
I don't want to talk because that country, I know the system, I know the politicians, I know how they think. Wow, I can be a very good asset for a company who want to invest there. I can help them to spend a lot of money. I talk about millions of dollars.
Okay, so that project, you was proud, obviously, that you done it all in
I'm
one
proud of
night,
my technical work.
and it led you
I'm proud.
into many connections too.
Wow, huge.
And that's what it's all
There
about,
are
right? You
prominent
know.
peoples from Western world who doesn't have that connections. But I
Yeah.
have the connection in a way. If I want to contact them, they will answer to me. Not only they know me.
Oh, that's wicked.
That's the
That's
main
nice.
thing.
Yeah, you've been in a position of extreme value to these people, so they
Yes,
recognize you
and I
for
work
it.
free. I didn't was paid. When I
Hmm.
make my calculation, I'm supposed to receive more than $250,000, but I forget about.
What an amazing story. And to finish this podcast, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. An eye
It's the
opener as
same.
well.
Big disrespect
Um,
for garbage people, but they don't know
mhm.
garbage people. Without them, a city like London in 1 week will have disease.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right.
Each
Everyone's
profession need to be
important. We
respected.
need everyone. 100%. Yeah, you should respect everyone in any
And
line of work.
first,
I agree.
and also, finally, I want to thank you for your reply regarding the job in France. I feel so happy in a way. It doesn't matter the time when you send it, but it's a very straightforward attitude.
Oh, well,
Like
thank you.
you, there are not many. Actually, you're the first one who give a straightforward reply. For recruitment companies, I advise them, okay, whatever is the reply or is not
Yeah,
a positive one, just communicate.
yeah,
The the person who has interviewed send you an email or call you, answer and say, tell him the truth. Truth will not kill anyone, but
yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate
miscommunication
that. Yeah, there's no
is
need to hide
generating problem.
anything. And I really liked your idea when you said about the software. I've actually yet to try it. With the AirPods, these we
Yes,
can speak with different languages and they translate. I
this
thought
is
what an
nothing.
amazing
It's
idea.
another equipment. Now it's on Amazon. It's around 900 euro, which is already set. It's something like a small box like that with two
Hmm.
earpieces. Even if it's not connected to internet, already have incorporated languages. They can put one earpiece to someone, another to someone. If it's connected to internet, can be on the conference room
Yeah,
without earpiece.
that's amazing, isn't it? What an amazing bit of technology.
I check it because I want to talk with someone and doesn't know English, doesn't know anything, no only Russian. I say, okay, I still remember to read and write in Russian, but I'm not speaking. So I say, okay, I'm looking for it. I didn't purchase it yet, but it's
Yeah.
on Amazon.
Yeah, I'm going to try it as well soon because I've been learning Spanish for a long time and I can speak it quite well, but I would love to. I think it would help me learn further too. Speaking with someone who is Spanish, a little bit of the earpiece, then normal earpiece, then normal to pick it
If you
up
spoke,
faster.
let's say, online, you don't need the earpiece. You just connect that equipment to a speaker
Yeah.
and you set it Spanish to English, and that's all.
Yeah, it's wicked. Yeah, it's what a useful tool. But anyway, thank you very much, Virgilio. It's a
You
pleasure
too.
to meet you, and I hope to have something for you actually soon. And I won't put this in the recording. In fact, let me put off. I've finished the recording now, but thank you very much for your time.
Me
And
too. I
then
thank
hold
you,
on.
Ken. I wish you all the
Thank
best,
you.
and I'm grateful. I wish you
Thank you,
a
my friend.
very wonderful.